going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gabe Churray. I talk about keyboards, synthesizers, plugins, and stuff like that. And today I'm talking about keyboards because I'm starting to gear up for kind of wedding gig season for myself. From about March to November, I do a lot of wedding gigs, cover band gigs, cocktail hours, wedding ceremonies, and things like that. And I tend to use my Nord Electro 6 for all of those. And I was thinking about the live section on the Nord Electro 6. And I wanted to talk about how I organize the live section. I feel like it hasn't been covered a lot online. There's some stuff on the Nord stage, but not the Electro specifically. So I wanted to talk about my own process when organizing what I put into the live section on this keyboard. And hopefully it might help you get some ideas about how you might want to organize your live section. So the live section is sort of a special section on most Nord keyboards where if you turn on the live section and you adjust anything, whatever you change is saved. So if you go back to it, it will stay exactly the same as it was. This is different than programs or patches. I use patches for songs that use very specific sounds that may or may not be like standard keyboard sounds. There may be some element of them that's unique to that patch. For instance, the patches I have in this row, like this one right here, Rather Be. This one is sort of a piano with a string sound. It's kind of a specific sound. And then, oh, this is an even better example. So for instance, Levitating, I actually have a sample built in to this one. So that one would be tough to pull off in the live section. I wanted to show you specifically the keyboards that I put into this section. Many people have many different uses for the live section, but this is sort of how I wrangle it and keep it in my own head. I sort of think of it as a bank for your standard keyboard or piano or organ instruments that you would use for most of the pop music from the last 70 years. There's two big banks. There's Live A, and then if you use the page button, you can go to Live B. Within each of those sections, A and B, there are 4 patches. So in A, I have 4 keyboards. And then if I go to Live B, I have 4 in there as well. To keep things straight in my own head, I don't really change this. I try to keep the same 8 keyboards that I have in that section the same. That way, if I ever need a keyboard really quick, this is what the live section is really great for. So in the first slot on A1 is a bright grand piano. This is great for really punchy piano sounds. Something that really cuts. I tend to put the other piano that I like in the Live B1. So B1 is a white grand, which is a more deeper, rich piano. Let's go back to A. In the second slot, I always have the 2 electroacoustic pianos. So in A2, I have Rhodes. And then if I switch the page, it's a Wurlitzer, which are the 2 most common sort of electric pianos, I think anyway, that I get the most use out of. Let's go back to A. In the third slot, I have the all-important clavinet. Fourth position on the A section, I have a Farfisa organ, which is, of course, just for and any other crazy Farfisa thing. If I go over to B again, in the third spot on B and the fourth spot, I have 2 different types of B3 organs. The organ in the third spot I sort of think of as pretty heavy, like I almost think of it as like a churchy organ. And then the one in the fourth spot is a little more smooth, like it's a little more nuanced. So yeah, that's the basic setup. I have two pianos, one in A1, one in B1, and then I have two electroacoustic pianos, a Rhodes and a Wurlitzer in A2 and B2. And then I have a clavinet in A3, a Farfisa in A4, and then two B3 organs. I find that that selection of keyboards covers like 80% of the music I play for these types of gigs. The thing to be careful with the live section is that it saves anything that you do. So let's say, for instance, I use this organ here. If I change anything about this organ, it's gonna stay put for next time. That's why I don't get too crazy with the programming when it comes to doing patchwork in the live section, because if I get too deep, if I recall this patch, everything's gonna be the same, and I don't really know where I am. So I try to keep the patch simple. That way, if anything's different about it, I can like negotiate it real fast to get it back to where I need it. So for instance, let's change something about this one. Yeah, put a little phaser on there. If I leave this organ and go to like a Wurlitzer, now if I come back to the organ, it should be where I left it. Phaser and all, which is not what I want. Of course, I'm only using one keyboard per patch right now, but let's say you wanted to have a synthesizer that you like for each patch. You can always have a synth in there, and then when you pull up the patch, just turn off the piano, and now you have a synthesizer ready to go. It's sort of like a choose your own adventure for keyboard players. It's however you would like it to be set up. But yeah, I like to keep my live section simple with those 8 standard no-fail keyboards. That way, if I'm on the bandstand and all of a sudden a song gets called and I don't know what the patch is for it, and I know that it uses some sort of the piano, I can just punch a button, have a piano ready to go, and hit it. Hopefully that gives you some ideas about how the live section works on the Nord Electro or the Nord stage. So this is just one way of thinking about the live section, but it really helps me keep things organized on stage. And I've been using this keyboard for about 8 years now, and this has not failed me yet. So if you have any more questions about the Nord Electro 6, any keyboard stuff really, like if you want to know more about playing or like what I'm doing, synthesizer stuff, other things, anything you see here, please let me know. I'm more than happy to talk about it. I have a lot of fun doing this stuff. I'll see you guys next time.